I have such exciting news. The room went silent, and for a moment, it was as though the entire gaming universe stopped breathing. Rob Wiethoff, the voice behind none other than John Marston himself, had just uttered the words that everyone in the Red Dead Redemption community had been waiting to hear. He was in the middle of a relaxed live stream, casually revisiting the dusty trails of Red Dead Redemption from the year 2010, when he paused, looked at the camera, and dropped that huge hint. Immediately, chat messages exploded with theories and speculation. Could it be a long-awaited visual update for Red Dead Redemption 2? Perhaps a brand new storyline entirely? Or maybe, just maybe, a tantalizing promise of something bigger on the horizon? Today, we are going to dive deep into what might be happening behind the scenes, why this sudden tease has captured the hearts of so many fans, and how it could connect to the broader roadmap of Rockstar Games. In this journey, we will explore the history of John Marston's adventures, the evolution of the Red Dead series, and the anxious lead-up to the next big project that might fill the gap before Grand Theft Auto 6 arrives. Buckle up, because we have a lot to uncover. Long before anyone even dreamed of receiving cryptic announcements in the middle of a live stream, Rob Wiethoff's portrayal of John Marston was already stirring emotions in the gaming community. In Red Dead Redemption, released in the year 2010, he brought the character deftly to life, a gritty, complex gunslinger straddling the line between outlaw and family man, each day haunted by his past but determined to forge a better future. With its sprawling landscapes, haunting soundtrack, and an innovative approach to open-world storytelling, Red Dead Redemption quickly became a modern classic. Critics and players alike praised the authenticity of Marston's voice, the delicate notes of regret or hope that Wiethoff managed to convey. That sense of realism was precisely why fans have remained so attached to the character all these years. Hearing Wiethoff tease exciting news is like hearing a close friend whisper a secret about something that could change everything. It sets the imagination ablaze, beckoning fans to guess what might come next. We know that in the gaming world, hype can be both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, it keeps the conversation lively and the community energized. On the other, it can inflate expectations to a point where disappointment is almost inevitable. But in this particular case, Rockstar Games has a track record that few developers can rival. The original Red Dead Redemption was not just another open-world game. It told an emotional story that tackled themes of survival, personal redemption, and the slow death of the Wild West. You could wander from heart-stopping gunfights and tumbleweed-strewn roads to quiet sunsets that glowed across silent prairies. That environment was more than just a playground. It was alive with tension, hope, and sorrow. The arrival of Wiethoff's big reveal suggests a new chapter may be unfolding. And if you think about it, each major Rockstar release tends to have its own distinctive aura, backed by remarkable detail. Could it be that a fresh surprise is prepared to drop right into that legendary formula? At the heart of this intrigue is the question, why now? Why choose this moment, in the middle of a casual live stream, to deliver such a potent hint? Part of it might be the oversized shadow cast by Grand Theft Auto 6. With talk of that next chapter being delayed into sometime after 2023, Rockstar might be looking for ways to keep players engaged. Perhaps the plan is to shine a spotlight back on the Red Dead series. After all, Red Dead Redemption was recently brought to Steam in a more modern form, letting a fresh audience experience the tale of John Marston for the first time. But is that enough to satisfy the cravings of fans who yearn for fresh content and updated visuals? Some think a simpler solution might be on the horizon, perhaps a performance patch that pushes Red Dead Redemption 2 to run at a silky smooth 60 frames per second on consoles, or even a more robust experience for those galloping across the majestic frontier on personal computers. If you are enjoying this revelation and find yourself eager to ride further into the unknown, consider giving a quick nod of support. A simple like or comment to show you are fascinated by the possibilities can go a long way. We have plenty more to explore, and your enthusiastic involvement keeps the conversation lively. Of course, it is possible that whatever Wiethoff is teasing has nothing to do with expansions or patches and is instead a brand new side project from Rockstar, something akin to an anthology or spin-off that lets us explore other corners of the Red Dead universe. Imagine a short standalone story in which we step into the boots of different characters, grappling with morally ambiguous dilemmas beneath a blazing frontier sun. Another possibility is that we might see the franchise making its way to the rumored Nintendo Switch 2. Stories have circulated about the next-generation handheld console from Nintendo possessing the power to handle more demanding titles. And perhaps Rockstar sees a golden opportunity to reintroduce Red Dead Redemption to a whole new pool of players. That could be the sort of bombshell that fits the phrase, "I have such exciting news." But there is another layer to this puzzle that extends beyond mere speculation, the human factor. Rob Wiethoff is not just any voice actor. His depiction of John Marston is woven into the tapestry of one of gaming's most beloved epics. He is well aware of how passionately people respond to even the slightest mention of fresh Red Dead content. If he says that there is big news on the way, it implies that he has seen or experienced something substantial. We do not usually see him making ephemeral teases. He tends to speak sincerely, straight from the heart. Maybe the official announcement is so close he can almost taste the reaction of the community, the shock, the delight, or the speculation spiraling in all directions. We have to wonder, will it be a direct sequel to workshop the final threads of Red Dead Redemption 2's epilogue, or a more tangential exploration that places Marston in an entirely new scenario? From the vantage point of many fans, the biggest question is whether Rockstar is using this moment to stir up interest in new content before the eventual arrival of Grand Theft Auto 6, which so many have pegged as the next behemoth on the studio's horizon. For better or worse, a large chunk of the gaming world is fixated on that future release. But in the meantime, there is a gap that begs to be filled by something equally ambitious, or at least enough to whet gamers' appetites and remind them that Rockstar's creative engine never truly slows. The potential synergy between a new Red Dead announcement and the waiting period for Grand Theft Auto 6 is colossal. It could rally the Red Dead community once more, culminating in forums, subreddits, and social media channels, brimming with theories about how these separate franchises might learn from each other or share game engine refinements. Now, if you are finding this deep dive enthralling, you might want to subscribe or follow for future updates. That way, you will be the first to know if any official word breaks, or if new leaks point us in a surprising direction. As we rummage through the bits and pieces of speculation, we should also consider the nature of Rockstar's design philosophy. Historically, the company has liked to wait for what feels like the right moment to pull back the curtain on any new project. So, if Wiethoff is out there teasing big news, the official unveiling might be extremely close. This sense of closeness can be simultaneously thrilling and nerve-wracking for fans. Everyone remembers how the hype for Red Dead Redemption 2 built over time, culminating in a wave of trailers, thematic reveals, and subtle hints that dissected every second of footage for deeper significance. Rockstar has never been shy about building anticipation, but seldom do they let an actor drop an explicit sign of something new without an aligned strategic push from the marketing team. That is a puzzle in itself. It might be that Rockstar gave Wiethoff permission to create buzz, trusting that it would roll out in a natural, fan-centered manner. Another angle is that Wiethoff felt compelled by sheer excitement. Could this point to something truly game-changing, like a large single-player expansion or an entirely new era for Marston? A look back at how games in the Red Dead franchise have evolved might point us toward what is possible. The earliest entries, going all the way back to Red Dead Revolver, served as prototypes for the sweeping, realistic worlds Rockstar would come to master. With each iteration, the narrative structure became richer, the characters more deeply realized, and the moral choices faced by the protagonist ever more consequential. Red Dead Redemption 2 extended that tradition, placing players in a living, breathing simulation of the late 1800s, complete with complex social dynamics, unpredictable weather patterns, and realistic wildlife. So, if some new Red Dead content is on the way, it stands to reason that it would intend to push boundaries once more, perhaps with a new angle on emergent gameplay or a more advanced physics system. But keep in mind that any speculation is just that, speculation. Only Wiethoff and Rockstar truly know what is brewing, and perhaps a few lucky insiders who have sworn to secrecy. Some fans have been quick to point out that, while new Red Dead content would be fantastic, they are equally hoping that Rockstar addresses the existing online modes. Red Dead Online has a loyal, but often frustrated user base that feels it could use more content, events, and expansions aligned with the immersive single-player experience. Might Wiethoff's cryptic statement be pointing to a revitalization of Red Dead Online, rather than a brand new single-player storyline? That scenario might not be as thrilling for those who clamor for narrative expansions, but it would still create waves in the community. Online ecosystems thrive on new features, story arcs, and weekly challenges that keep players logging in. A major update that includes fresh heists, cooperative storylines, or expansions that tie back to the events of Red Dead Redemption 2 might be precisely the shot in the arm that the multiplayer community has been desperate to receive. From the standpoint of Rockstar, the timing for a big update or announcement is about more than just pleasing fans. It is a strategic move. If they want to maintain momentum while Grand Theft Auto 6 remains in development, a captivating piece of Red Dead news could accomplish that. One wonders if the strategy might revolve around bridging the gap between the Old West and the modern day, drawing parallels between the outlaws of the frontier and the criminals of Vice City, or wherever the next iteration of Grand Theft Auto 6 might be set. Over the years, Rockstar has shown a penchant for connecting themes across their titles. The moral complexity of Red Dead Redemption helped pave the way for deeper storytelling in Grand Theft Auto 5, giving glimpses into the psyche of each playable character. Future developments could reciprocate that relationship, possibly embedding new technology or narrative techniques that were polished in Grand Theft Auto 6 back into the structures of Red Dead. For those who fear that Wiethoff's announcement might be a relatively small-scale update, it is worth remembering that even a seemingly minor detail can have major ramifications. When the original Red Dead Redemption launched on Steam, it rekindled interest in the entire property, causing a fresh wave of Twitch streams, fan art, and discussions about how well the game has aged. That, in turn, set the stage for renewed speculation about how the older game might integrate with the modern scope of Red Dead Redemption 2. If the teased info is connected to an upgraded or definitive version across multiple platforms, fans might be more than happy to line up for another journey through the frontier. Over a decade after the original's release, how many players are out there who miss the game or want to re-experience it in a more polished, contemporary form? The potential is massive. One angle that often goes overlooked is the possibility of a tie-in with other media formats. The success of streaming platforms and digital distribution means that a new Red Dead-related announcement could cross over into film, television, or short-format series. Just as The Last of Us made such an impact adapting from game to show, perhaps Rockstar envisions a similar future for John Marston. Could Wiethoff be hinting that the beloved gunslinger is bound for another form of media entirely? That would be a bold move, but stranger things have happened. Rockstar has historically shown an interest in bridging the gap between cinematic storytelling and interactive worlds. So, the concept of a collaborative project with a streaming service is not out of the realm of possibility. If that were the case, a major reveal, complete with Wiethoff's involvement, would definitely deserve an enthusiastic teaser. Another consideration is how Red Dead Redemption's always evolving fan community might react. Over the years, fans have organized cosplay events, charity fundraisers, and even entire conventions themed around the game. Social media communities routinely share short stories, roleplay servers, and competitions involving speedruns or unusual playthroughs. A single cryptic statement from John Marston's iconic actor is enough to create a veritable stampede among these players, all speculating on how best to prepare for a new wave of content. Some might attempt to replay both Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2 from start to finish, searching for hidden clues in the narrative or anticipating subtle details that might connect to the rumored surprise. Indeed, the speculation alone has become an event in itself, fueling countless hours of discussion and analysis. One of the most heartfelt aspects of Red Dead fandom is that it is not just about gunfights and rugged western terrain. The story touches on themes of family, loyalty, and the fragility of life in unforgiving conditions. John Marston is not your generic action hero. He is a flawed man with a painful past, striving to do right by his loved ones, even as he grapples with the ghosts that will not let him rest. The possibility of stepping back into his battered boots, or exploring more nuances to his story, has fans almost trembling with anticipation. And if Wiethoff is about to confirm that we will get that opportunity, it is small wonder that we are seeing such a collective roar of excitement. On the other hand, if the news leads us into an unexpected direction, like a future timeline or an alternate perspective on events that Wiethoff might have recorded as voice lines, would that overshadow or complicate the established storylines in ways that players do not expect? As anxious as the community is, there is also a playful acceptance that everything might turn out to be a smaller-scale piece of news. Maybe it is a cameo in another Rockstar title, or an addition to the Red Dead Online mode that references John Marston. In any case, the fact that Wiethoff felt compelled to pause his gameplay and make this statement indicates that it is most likely something that will talk to the heart of what fans adore about Red Dead. That fusion of epic storytelling, character-driven drama, and wide-open possibilities. Even if the reveal does not meet every forecast fans have concocted, it could still be a critical stepping stone to bigger announcements. Rockstar knows how to orchestrate marketing in waves, and a sudden spike in attention for Red Dead might prime the entire community for a larger unveiling a bit further down the road. Whatever the outcome, it is safe to say we are in for a wild ride in the coming days. The tension is thick, the speculation unstoppable. From a marketing vantage point, you could not plan a more effective hook if you tried. If Wiethoff is to share more details sometime before Friday, as he himself implied, we can only imagine that statements or official press releases will quickly follow. The delicate dance between actor, developer, and fan community is at its most electrifying right now. Indeed, people are scouring every piece of dialogue from Wiethoff's streams, scanning clips for hidden references, analyzing his facial expressions for subtle hints, and comparing them with earlier official statements from Rockstar. The fervor around potential expansions, patches, or entirely new Red Dead experiences has reached a fever pitch. And all the while, those who keep their eyes on the horizon for Grand Theft Auto 6 announcements cannot help but wonder if every cryptic mention might also feed into that bigger story. For now, we can only wait, though not without some healthy excitement. If you have stayed with us until this point, you clearly share in that anticipation. Keep your notifications close, because the moment that official confirmation drops, whether it is a brand new game, a cherished re-release, or a revitalizing online update, we will all want to talk about it right away. Until then, let the dusty wind of speculation blow freely across the frontier of our collective imagination, stirring up daydreams of the next Western epic waiting just around the next bend.